Hello and welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I am Alex, and today is May 8th, 2025. Alright, we are looking at a research paper from Hugging Face's trending list, published just 7 days ago. TeLoGraF, Temporal Logic Planning via Graph-encoded Flow Matching. This paper introduces TeLoGraF, a method for AI to learn solutions for tasks defined by Signal Temporal Logic, or STL. These are complex instructions involving timing and logic, so it uses a graph neural network, a type of AI processing graph-structured data to understand these signal temporal logic instructions, and flow matching to generate plans that follow them. So building on how TeLoGraF understands these signal temporal logic instructions, this figure actually shows us the 4 main types of signal temporal logic templates the researchers used. You can see single-goal, multi-goal, sequential, and partial order tasks, each represented as a kind of tree structure. These templates are really important because they form the basis for a huge dataset, around 200,000 examples, which is crucial for the graph neural network to learn how to interpret a wide variety of these complex, timed commands effectively. Okay, so after understanding those signal temporal logic templates, this next diagram, figure 2, shows the whole TeLoGraF system. It starts with a complex signal temporal logic instruction, like eventually reach one goal or another while always avoiding an obstacle. This instruction is converted into a graph structure. The graph neural network encoder then processes this graph, creating an embedding, which is essentially a compact numerical summary of the instruction. This embedding, along with the encoded initial state, is fed into a conditional flow matching module. This module, which uses a network architecture called a temporal U-Net backbone, good for handling sequential data, then generates the final planned trajectory. Alright, so now that we have seen the TeLoGraF architecture, figure 3 here shows the 5 different simulation environments used to test the system. It displays linear and Dubins, which are simpler 2D navigation tasks. Then there are point maze and ant maze, where an agent navigates mazes. And finally, FrancaPanda, a more complex task involving a 7 degree of freedom robot arm. A degree of freedom, sometimes abbreviated DOF, represents an independent way a robot can move, so 7 degrees of freedom means it is quite agile. These diverse settings were crucial for generating demonstration data and thoroughly evaluating how TeLoGraF handles varied signal temporal logic instructions across different system dynamics. Moving to the results, Figure 4 presents a series of bar charts comparing TeLoGraF with other methods across those 5 simulation environments we just saw. The top row shows signal temporal logic satisfaction, which basically measures how successfully the AI followed the complex timed instructions. The bottom row shows runtime in seconds, or how quickly each method found a solution. Across the board, especially in the more complex point maze, ant maze, and FrancaPanda tasks, TeLoGraF and its faster version, TeLoGraF Fast, generally achieve higher satisfaction rates and significantly lower runtimes compared to classical methods like grad and cross-entropy method, or CEM, and other learning approaches like CTG and LTL-DOG. Okay, so building on TeLoGraF's strong performance, Figure 5 here dives into an important internal choice, the type of encoder used to understand the signal temporal logic instructions. It compares different encoder architectures, like GRU, which stands for Gated Recurrent Unit, and Transformer, both common for processing sequences, against graph-based approaches like Tree LSTM, and the author's chosen graph neural network. The bars show signal temporal logic satisfaction, with solid for training data and hashed for validation data, data the model has not seen. We see the graph neural network and Tree LSTM generally maintain higher satisfaction on this validation data, especially in complex environments, showing they are more robust. Okay, so after seeing that graph neural networks handle validation data well, Figure 8 here really digs into encoder robustness. It shows how different encoders perform when faced with signal temporal logic instructions that have been synthetically modified or augmented, basically made more complex or different from the original training set. The plots show signal temporal logic satisfaction across those same 5 environments. The key thing to notice is that the graph neural network and Tree LSTM, the red and yellow lines, maintain higher satisfaction as the instructions become more complex, especially in the red shaded area representing out-of-distribution Signal Temporal Logic, which are instructions significantly different from what they were trained on. This really highlights their resilience. So, to wrap things up on TeLoGraF, it really seems to offer a powerful new way for AI to understand and follow complex, timed instructions, formally specified using Signal Temporal Logic. The big takeaways are its impressive speed and accuracy compared to other methods, and how its graph neural network encoder makes it robust, even with unfamiliar instructions. It achieves this by using flow matching, which is a technique where the AI learns to generate the required sequences of actions or trajectories to satisfy those instructions. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Research Roundup.